Hello, welcome back to Music Theory Logic. My name's Andrew, and today I thought it'd be fun to show you a little bit of writing some custom music for TV. So I haven't really talked about this on this channel, but in addition to my artist alias and working directly for clients, I write music for multiple different publishers or publishing houses that basically service media providers or people that make media content of some kind and they need music. So basically I write music for companies that manage a bunch of music and then they place that music, and some of them pay me upfront when I'm writing this music, and most of them are basically paying on the back end royalty. And here we go. Let's go into a Logic session. So I can't really play the reference track, but the way this kind of works is most libraries or publishers will send you a request. They'll send you some sort of reference track. In this case, they were sending 3 different kinds of hip-hop tracks. They had like a hard-hitting tension hip-hop, light tension, and these are all instrumentals. So these are ultimately basically used in the background of TV shows that people watch. So I have some notes here. Again, I'm not going to play that track. We're just going to get into it, and I'm going to try to keep this pretty quick. I haven't pre-planned this, so hopefully my mind is working for writing some music. So the notes I have from listening to this reference track, and you could replicate this, are so basically listening to whatever kind of music you're trying to make. We're not going to steal anything. We're not going to really take anything other than some sort of conceptual ideas, like the way the music is written, the way that it kind of sounds, abstractly, I guess. So the notes I have are stutter 16th notes, some sort of pitched pluck. I've got filtered lead after 4 bars. I've got kick from the start, 16th note hi-hats, and pad or a vocalish, and that has some sort of rhythmic quality to it. So I tracked the tempo via Logic's BPM counter. Most DAWs come with something like this. It's going to be under metering. It's your BPM counter. You put that on whatever track that you were trying to figure out the tempo of. That's important. If you happen to put that effect on another channel, it's not going to show up. So it gave me the 95. I then set my project value of the session, the BPM, to 95. That means I can use the grid. And cool. The way I like to do this is I like to write the music and then I like to do the sound design. So some people don't like doing this. Again, one of the things about the TV world, at least as I know it, is it's kind of like it doesn't pay as well as I thought it did originally, and there's so much music out there, you don't know if you're going to place everything, so efficiency is like the most important thing. If you do this for a living, you don't want to spend all your time on one song because, again, you need quite a few placements. But side note, this is a really good area of music for anybody that makes music as like an artist alias or produces other artists to get into. It's good practice, and it is another source of revenue. So to keep it simple for the music theory side of things, I'm going to write in the key of A minor. That means I'm going to use all these white keys. And I'm going to start writing out some 16th notes just on this piano. All right, that'll work. Hopefully you like that. Again, it's hard to really explain like how one does that. You're going to want to just listen to lots of music, write a lot of music. The more you do this, the more you can kind of imagine what this is going to sound like and kind of try to envision something and then write it. My text linked below talks a lot about the music theory stuff. Understanding the music theory helps you to know how to link like what you hear with what you see here. So if that is helpful at all, Again, that is linked below. So now I have this melody, or this not melody, just stutter pattern. And then I'm going to write a counter melody or something to go on top of that. Cool. And then I'm going to add some variation the second time of the phrase, or the second time this melody happens. Okay, so a couple things. One, every note I've used is in the key. Second of all, I was humming this. Again, I'm not a singer. I will be the first one to admit that I don't think my voice sounds very good. However, I think singing, even if it doesn't sound good to anyone else, can help us to try to A, remember notes, B, figure out melodies, and ultimately I think the catchiest melodies are the ones that we can sing back. Writing music for TV, again, we don't necessarily even want to be writing catchy melodies. The way we sound design this is going to be somewhat mellow, minimal, if that makes sense. So let's keep this going. Cool. Let's begin to make this sound a lot better. So I guess I like to a lot of times use these default instruments, but I'm going to use some different stuff just to make this sound cooler, because I'm going to use this as part of my catalog. So you may hear this in a show. Hopefully you will hear this in a show, because that will mean we succeeded. All right, so we're going to choose some sort of pluck instrument. I want keys, type, short. Let's see here. And then let's just start going through some plucks. That's pretty rad. That's fine. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to mess around with that knob a little bit just to get that automation line in. So I'm going to hit touch. All right, cool. And then if we go, darn it, it did not record that automation. So why did it not record that automation? Let's try it again. Nope, it's just not picking it up. So unfortunately, that means we have to do it the long way. So we're looking for a filter, master filter, cutoff. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to figure that out in the mixing process. It's cool to know that we have it there in the synth. All right, moving along. Let's pick another instrument for our melody. Those of you that have seen a lot of my other videos will know that I do like to build sounds from scratch, but again, this is going to be so much faster. I've said it before, but this TV stuff, we want to be really efficient, which making a YouTube video doesn't totally make it easy to be efficient, but at least I'm able to help all of you. All right, so let me duplicate this MIDI. Drag it down. All right, let's see. What other instruments we can find? Cool. I like it. So in the interest of time with the video, how are we doing on time? Oh. All right. All right, let's start adding some more sounds in. I'm going to use some sampled drums. Let me get to my sample file folder that is wonderfully organized on purpose. Only joking. We're going to grab a kick. This is light tension, so we don't want something too crazy. Oh. My computer was thinking. Actually going to use that, but then I'm going to cut off the low end from it, at least in the beginning. Get some cymbals in there. Hopefully you like it too. Again, even if you don't, who cares? No, I'm just kidding. If you don't like this, well, I'm not kidding. I did do a wish I knew. It doesn't matter what people think, but if you don't like this, hopefully you're still learning some principles about how I'm writing these tracks. Maybe just like the idea of like, how is this music for TV written? It's written just like a typical beat. I'm going to, again, go to my notes, use some 16th note cymbal patterns. That's the same as rhythm as our pluck instrument, so we know that's going to fit right with it. You can do that to be faster. Now we need to get our backbeat of some kind. I'm going to go back to our snares, small reverb. These are going to be somewhat trap-ish. Let's do that, and then we're going to play with the EQ a little bit. Again, standard backbeat, music theory text linked below. Standard backbeat is the kick or the snare being on beat 2 and 4. This is what's happening in our reference track. I'm going to turn it down a bunch. Naturally going to save it. I will save this really quickly. Call this light tension 2. All right. Let's get that vocalish pad in there. Let's use a different instrument. Let's go with Isotope Iris 2. If you're not familiar with Iris 2, it's a super cool synth. There's some really great videos. I would check out Composing Gloves. He has a sick video on this synth sampling engine. It's really pretty crazy. We're going to go to Forgotten Choir. It's something I like the sound of. And then we're going to put some chords in here. It's going to be we'll make it subtle in the mix after this, but let's first write our harmonies. Now back to our concept of music theory, we could use these notes from our bass line as a reference or like something to guess the chord we want to use based on that. Now we're in the key. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, no, that's fine actually. Sorry. So we don't have to do root position chords. That'll definitely sound good. So like if I did an A minor chord here and then a C major chord here, an F major here, an E minor, and what would be a B diminished here, just to show you how simple that is. You just would skip white keys for each of these to get 3 notes. So you're going to find C and E for E and G, A and C, E, G and B, B, D, and F. Nice. Then we can voice this a lot better. In the interest of time. All right. Super simple. But simple is pretty good a lot of times. Now, I had a note that said stutter that instrument, like the pad vocal thing I was going to do. So just for fun, I'll show you how one of many ways I would do that. I'm going to use LFO tool. Super cool, from the same company, Steve Duda's company, Extra Records, that makes Serum. It's going to basically move the volume from low to high over the course of that rate, an eighth note. We're going to want to smooth it out, or it's going to clip a little. then replace that basically everywhere we get that chord progression. That's kind of what our reference does. So now that chord is going to stutter the fourth measure every time around. Now, to complete the sound, I am going to add a bass because that's going to make it sound so much cooler. Let's grab a bass from Iris. I don't really use Iris for basses, but let's see what it's got. This is the pad, so it's not going to sound that great. We literally could take, just to make it super simple, since we used the root notes from our main pluck instrument, we could take that and just make a better rhythm out of it. We could do like just mostly eighth notes, something like that. Now, hopefully you're recognizing that, wait a second, he's just doing patterns. That's kind of the point. I mean, if I analyze a lot of people's music, old and new, it's most music, to the best of my knowledge, is sort of like patterns with sound. We find them a lot. I'm going to vary them. I'm going to humanize this MIDI, so I'm going to go out of my way to not make it as perfect. That's going to make it sound better. But here's our bass line. We have to pick an instrument from our Iris. Let's go with the bass. Club bass, dark sub. Let's see what that sounds like. That's really, really low. Let's go an octave up from there. I like it. Cool. Just to show you the humanizing part of it that I just mentioned, like if I take all of these MIDI notes and then I go into function, MIDI transform, humanize, it's going to basically randomize the velocity and attack, which is going to make that feel a lot more human. I'm going to do that to just all this MIDI at once. There we go. All right, cool. Let's listen to what we made from the beginning. Not bad. I kind of like it. Hopefully you do too. Now, this is not at all what I would submit in final. I'm trying to keep this video under 30 minutes, and I think I'm like right up about that. I might actually be right over 30 minutes. But hopefully you found this helpful. This was writing a light tension track for visual media or for a music catalog that TV shows and places like that are going to hopefully put behind their visual content. We use some really fundamental music theory, some fundamental knowledge of our DAW, our workstation, and again, hopefully you like what we made. If you found this video helpful, you would help me out a lot by subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell for notifications. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think, or perhaps let me know if you have a song or a question that you'd like me to make a video covering. Feel free to shoot me an email. Stay in touch. Be nice to your fellow human being and have fun making music. That is the point. Till next time, cheers.